Hello and welcome to HW News English. I am Shubham Chauhan. We are coming to you live with this breaking news that Atishi Marlena has been picked as the new Chief Minister of Delhi. Remember, this is a suspense that's been in the making for the last couple of days since Arvind Kejriwal, party chief of the Aam Aadmi Party, said that he will resign as the Chief Minister and said he wants to go back to the people, get a fresh mandate from them, a clean sheet in a way, given what he has gone through in the last few months and come back afresh. And that, in fact, was seen as a bold move, as a big political gamble, and even as an attempt to by Kejriwal to sort of reinvent or go back to the drawing board, come back with a clean slate as far as his image is concerned. Now, what we are picking up right now is that Atishi Marlena, a minister and MLA in the current cabinet, she's been picked. Her name was recommended by Arvind Kejriwal. Reportedly, all MLAs of the Aam Aadmi Party have backed that decision, and we're just awaiting. If I'm understanding correctly, we have a press conference also scheduled by the Aam Aadmi Party where the official announcement will be made in a couple of minutes from now. We'll also have a couple of guests joining us as well on the program today. So before we go any further, I'd like to introduce my colleague Shashank Nair. He's also tracking this story for us. If we can have Shashank, I hope you can hear me. What is the latest?
Yeah, sure.
Has picked Atishi as the new chief minister.
Yeah, so Shubham, the legislative party meeting just was concluded, and Atishi has been selected as the legislative party leader, and she will also be now taking oath as the new chief minister of Delhi. Now, what's interesting over here is that she is someone who is already handling 13 portfolios. Apart from this, she has also been with Arvind Kejriwal since the India Against Corruption movement. So a party loyalist, also somebody who has been close to Arvind Kejriwal, who is the supremo of the party, a woman face. So also the education revolution, which the Aam Aadmi Party pats its back every time about, she is the brain behind that also. So even when Arvind was arrested, Manish Sisodia was arrested, she was somebody who had come forward along with Saurabh Bhardwaj, obviously, and taken over the reins of the. You can say Sunita Kejriwal was also there, but because she has so much of administrative experience as well as hold in the party, I think she was one of the front runners since the time Arvind announced that he is going to step down. So I think overall it is a very good move as of now. What it is being seen as.
Right. So there'll be. I'm given to understand that there'll be a press conference which we will cut live to once we have the visuals coming in. But once, like Shashank said, that once Kejriwal decided that, or rather, he announced that he will resign as chief minister, Atishi was really the front runner as far as the successor to Mr. Kejriwal was concerned. Like Shashank said, she holds about 13 portfolios, including the key ones: finance, health, revenue. Is all now under Atishi's control. She's seen to be as someone who's a close aide of Arvind Kejriwal, a close and trusted aide. Because once the AAP leaders, the top AAP leaders went behind bars, it was Saurabh Bhardwaj and Atishi who really took on the mantle to head. Because remember, Arvind Kejriwal did not quit the chief minister's post when he went to jail. And in the time he was in jail, he was still the chief minister. He was that is what came out officially. But once it was announced that once the Supreme Court ordered that Kejriwal be released, he should be given bail. Among the stringent conditions that were set for Mr. Kejriwal was that he couldn't sign official files, he couldn't visit the CM office or even the secretariat. Many now even looked at that as something, or tying the hands of an elected chief minister. And with elections now scheduled in about 4-5 months from now, it was seen as something that would not really favor the Aam Aadmi Party, Shashank, because when it's election time, everyone wants to go that extra mile, including, of course, helmed by the chief minister, and go all out, go all guns blazing, sign as many files as you can. So with that in mind, now to have a woman face as chief minister, like Kejriwal's predecessor, Sheila Dikshit, she was at one point one of the most popular chief ministers in Delhi. She had a long reign. from the Congress party as CM, and now Atishi will be replacing Arvind Kejriwal as the Chief Minister of Delhi. Shashank, when Mr. Kejriwal resigned, there was word on he wanted the elections to be preponed in the national capital.
Yes, yes.
February is what the elections were originally scheduled for, and but some reports suggest that that wasn't quite feasible. Say clubbing it with a state like Maharashtra, where polls are already due, and elections in Maharashtra could take place sometime in November. So that wasn't feasible. That meant that Kejriwal had to pick someone, a close, trusted. There were various names doing the round, from Raghav Chaddha to Kailash Gehlot to Saurabh Bhardwaj. And Manish Sisodia, like Mr. Kejriwal, he was out of the race because he said he wanted a clean chit as well from the people. It is only after that will he take charge in office. So, how do you see, Shashank, when such a situation comes up? What does it mean for the Aam Aadmi Party now, with a woman being
Shubham,
a chief
one more.
for the
Yeah.
next 5 months? Yes, go ahead, Shashank.
One more very interesting point that I think we're missing out on is when the entire Swati Malewal saga happened, Bibhav Kumar Swati Malewal, one person who was standing strong with Arvind Kejriwal, who was vocal about it, the party entirely was with him, but one person who was vocal was was Atishi. She was taking press conference after press conference and speaking in favor of Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. Besides that, what I feel that Arvind Kejriwal has done it prior also. If you see the 49-day government that he had formed with the Congress party, later on he resigned. Initially, when there was a hung parliament in 2013, he had offered BJP and Congress. He had given 18 points, and he had said that if you agree to these 18 points, we can form the government together. To which Congress agreed to 16 points. And now we have to also note one more interesting thing. He had said that I swear to my children that I will never form an alliance with the Congress. And he went on and formed a government with the Congress. 49 days the government sustained. And then what followed was a 67 out of 70, such a thumping majority that he got. Now,
Hmm.
what I believe over here is that Arvind Kejriwal, somewhat he understood that in the Lok Sabha elections, he did not quite get the response that he expected. Because in every campaign, he would say that if you did not vote for me, if I did not get the seats, then I am going to go back to jail. The Delhi ka beta narrative clearly did not work out for Arvind Kejriwal. So now he had to think for something new. Because the Aam Aadmi Party, especially Arvind Kejriwal, I think, because Aam Aadmi Party and Arvind Kejriwal, I don't look them differently. They are one unit, is what I believe. So that they have constantly been evolving in a span of just 10 years. You can see initially they said कि राम मंदिर के बदले स्कूल बनना चाहिए, then they changed to मैं अपने माँ बाप के साथ जाऊंगा, then he became a Hanuman Bhakt. So he has been constantly evolving. He just tests the water, and if he feel that this is not working, he evolves his strategy and brings something new to the table. So definitely I feel that there is going to be some strategy behind this. He has understood that this Delhi ka beta narrative and this sympathy is not working, and after the Supreme Court directions that he cannot go to the secretariat, he cannot sign the files, all that restrictions, he has now decided that he has to completely focus on Mission Haryana, where the party has fielded 89 candidates out of 90 after they failed an alliance talks with the Congress. He's now very clear that he has to now focus on Haryana polls. So
Hmm.
he's going
We'll
to
be
fully campaign for the party.
Hmm. Um, for our viewers, we should be having someone from the Aam Aadmi Party joining us on the broadcast to tell us more on what the party thinks, what the cadre thinks of this decision. Because remember, like Shashank was also pointing out, that Arvind Kejriwal he still remains the biggest leader as far as the Aam Aadmi Party is concerned. He's the numero uno in that party. For him to step aside and uh, pick another leader in his place, how will that be perceived by the cadre? What does the party think of it? Is something that we should be getting an idea once a representative from the Aam Aadmi Party joins us on the broadcast, which will be in a couple of minutes from now. As for Atishi, she's an MLA from Kalkaji in Delhi. She was elected as an MLA in the 2020 assembly elections in Delhi. In 2019, she fought against Gautam Gambhir, star cricketer, former cricketer of the Indian cricket team. Um, There was the battle in East Delhi 2019 Lok Sabha, where Atishi lost to Gautam Gambhir, and then in 2020 she was fielded from Kalkaji, and she ended up becoming an MLA. So she's known as someone, like I said earlier, a trusted aide of Kejriwal, someone who's been the backbone of the education reform that schools in the national capital have seen. The Delhi model is what it is called popularly. So when Manish Sisodia, in fact, before he went behind bars, he was the education minister and the deputy chief minister of Delhi. Atishi was really known to be the brains behind that. And with elections now, clearly it doesn't look like elections in Delhi would be preponed. Having a woman chief minister for 5 months at least would definitely be a shot in the arm. Having a woman face now going ahead and wooing the woman vote bank in the national capital, because it was getting, in a way, there were signs that the AAP was really on the back foot, because what they've been through in the last about year and a half, chief minister behind bars, deputy chief minister behind bars, Rajya Sabha MP behind bars, and their health minister was the first to go behind bars. He's still in jail. That is Satyendra Jain. He's the former health minister of Delhi. Now, Sanjay Singh came out. It was after that that Manish Sisodia came out, and now Arvind Kejriwal is out. So now, sort of, for a party that really was born and whose core philosophy was this anti-corruption plank, um, that image somewhere down the line in the last 18 months seems to have taken a huge hit. In a way, course correcting that. I'll come to Haryana, and Shashank, I'll come to you in a bit for Haryana and whatever you've been picking up in your interactions with Aam Aadmi Party leaders. The party, the place where the party sort of grew in 2019, 2024 Lok Sabha elections, Aam Aadmi Party was routed as far as the Lok Sabha was concerned. BJP won the 7 seats in the national capital. In 2024, they had an alliance with the Congress, a 4-3 Formula 4, where the parties sort of fought together as the India Alliance, but neither could really see any success. Now, on to Haryana, Shashank. When we speak of a state like Haryana, do you really think the Aam Aadmi Party is looking for, is eyeing the top post as far as Haryana is concerned? Because it's becoming increasingly evident that the BJP has anti-incumbency, strong anti-incumbency against them. There are party leaders who have been denied tickets, who are out there revolting. Some of them are contesting as independents. So while the Congress sees itself fancying their chances at forming the government, where does the Aam Aadmi Party stand in this? While yes, Kejriwal will be their biggest campaigner, like he was in Punjab, after which that successful campaign, Bhagwant Mann became the chief minister of Punjab, and Haryana, like a neighboring state of Delhi, the Aam Aadmi Party is looking to make inroads there. Shashank, I think you're on mute. I can't hear you.
Yeah. So basically, Shubham, I'd like to narrate an incident where what I saw in Gujarat. So Gujarat also, because we had gone to cover the Gujarat elections, where there was a lot of in the media, there was a lot of buzz that Aam Aadmi Party is going to be the principal opposition over there. But when we went there to cover, I think there was no cadre. People from Mumbai and Delhi were parachuted, and they were the volunteers over there. So I think similar is the case in Haryana, is what I have been told by people in reporters in Haryana. So Aam Aadmi Party is currently eyeing to just widen their footprints. They want to increase their footprints and become a larger party. They currently have the national party status, and they want to increase their cadre. So that is their sole objective. Now that if they ally with they would have allied with the Congress, and then they would have been in a better state. That is something which one has to look forward to. But then what their ambitions are, and how many seats they are eyeing, that is a different thing. Definitely the fight is clear between BJP and Congress, and Congress is clearly having an edge. So Aam Aadmi Party is just trying to get their new prospects and increase their footprints, and nothing at all, nothing more than that, I think.
They're looking at a podium finish, more or less, where they even, because the talks
One
with
or
the Congress.
4 or 5 seats, yeah,
Sorry.
maximum. Two to 4 seats, not more than that.
Okay, so I think that's really as far as the Aam Aadmi Party in Haryana is concerned. But again, like I said, Kejriwal being there prime leader, their top leader, who really draws the crowds. And remember, in fact, just before Kejriwal came out, there were talks. Since we are on the topic of Haryana, there were talks of the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party forging an alliance in Haryana. And there were talks. More than a couple of rounds of talks were held between leaders from both the parties, and eventually the talks fell through because the Aam Aadmi Party was reportedly not happy with the seats that the Congress was offering. Now, Shashank, let's look at this Atishi decision from an Arvind Kejriwal standpoint. For a leader, like he said on Sunday, it was a surprise announcement. The thing with Indian politics is a lot of surprising things happen on a Sunday. So he says that I want to go back to the people, and I want to seek a fresh mandate. And now he is appointed. It's all but clear that Atishi will be the chief minister of Delhi. Where does this leave Arvind Kejriwal now? Does he completely stay out of government, not interfere with the proceedings at all, and just focus on building his image? Or he's more or less like the remote control, as we say in Indian politics, that there's a leader sitting in his residence while you have a chief minister, but almost like a puppet chief minister, where the powers, the final decisions really are made by the party chief. So, and like it or not, like the other political parties, Aam Aadmi Party too is centered around one leader, and that is Arvind Kejriwal. So while Atishi may be the chief minister, of course, it remains to be seen how she performs in whatever months is left in her tenure. And what I'm given to understand now, that she will not be taking oath today. There are reports that Arvind Kejriwal has sought an appointment with the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi, so he's likely to put in his papers today. And then the whole process of the Lieutenant Governor calling on Atishi Marlena, the MLAs will have to prove their majority on the floor of the House. The Aam Aadmi Party will have to prove their majority on the floor of the House. A new cabinet will be picked, but we're also given to understand that a couple of more names will be added as far as the Delhi cabinet is concerned. So a few inductions can be seen there. But Shashank, let's come back to Arvind Kejriwal. Where do we see now Mr. Kejriwal? Is he the remote control now? Is he just now back to the 2013 roots where he all began? He was on the streets, in his very scathing, really, in his criticism of the Manmohan Singh government and the Sheila Dikshit government. So where do you see that, Shashank?
Shubham, it is very clear. Your question itself has its answer. You said that the party is centered around one leader. So definitely Arvind would have the reins of the party still, I believe that. And besides that, if there's somebody, because if he did not give up on the CM ship even when he was behind bars. Now that he has given it to Atishi, it is for a larger purpose. One has to look at it, and only time will say whether it was successful or not. Definitely, that is one thing which one has to understand. Now, primarily, he wants to completely focus on election campaigning and wants Atishi to look forward to Delhi, because Delhi still has time. So he would go campaign in Haryana and Delhi. He is now like a karyakarta, because if we see, Arvind did not have any portfolio earlier as well. He did not held any portfolio. If I'm not wrong, you can correct me if I'm wrong.
But he had the chief minister's chair. I mean, the
It,
chief minister
yeah,
is the
just
final.
yeah, no ministerial position he held.
Mm-hmm.
Still
Yes.
he had control over. Still he had control over the ministries. Don't you think that he used to interfere in other ministries? He
Sure. I
had
mean, it's
pressure from the lieutenant.
yes. That
Hmm.
that tiff with the lieutenant governor was out and out. It was there for everyone to see. I think Sujit Nair is joining us on the call. He's our managing editor, and we should be having him on the call in a couple of minutes. But while we get that connected, while we get Sujit connected, yes, the point that Shashank raised about Arvind Kejriwal and the tiff with the LG, that was something that was in fact extremely clear. And there was a lot of pressure in the lead up to what happened on Sunday, when the entire time when Kejriwal was behind bars, he did not quit. Unlike, say, Hemant Soren, who once it was evident that he will be arrested by the enforcement agencies, he went to the governor, put in his papers, Another CM was appointed in his place, Champai Soren, who now notably is now has switched sides and joined the Bharatiya Janata Party. He goes to jail. Hemant Soren goes to jail. Once he's out of jail, Hemant Soren is asked to step aside, and Champai Soren, my apologies, is asked to step aside, and Hemant Soren now becomes the chief minister. Kejriwal did not quite follow that same trajectory. Once he went behind bars, there were a lot of questions on whether or not he will resign, because an elected chief minister behind bars would definitely hinder governance, basic governance. And in fact, a lot of Delhiites also took to Twitter, even our friends, our colleagues in national capital were really fed up that, look, we elected that chief minister. For starters, he has absolutely his powers are limited compared to some of the other states, because Delhi is a union territory. And then on top of that, to have the chief minister in jail, that means our basic governance is suffering, because the person who's supposed to give the final authority, the final assent, he's not out there in amongst the public. So that was the question, and even of course it became political row as well when the Bharatiya Janata Party said that he must resign. He has no moral authority to continue. He has corruption cases against him, and it was following that. And at that time, leaders like Atishi, leaders like Saurabh Bhardwaj were very clear. I think do we have Sujit with us on the call right now?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I am at your
Yes. Good
service.
afternoon, Sujit. Atishi Marlena
Good
is
afternoon to you.
Atishi Marlena, now new chief minister of Delhi. Arvind Kejriwal backed her name, proposed her name, and all MLAs have backed that move. Your first reactions?
My first reaction is this is exactly what we discussed yesterday in our editorial meeting, if you remember. We
Yes.
spoke about Atishi Marlena taking over and not Mrs. Kejriwal. We were very sure about it. And the fact is, I think Kejriwal is one of the most strategically uh, strategically best politician that I have seen in the recent times. Strategically, he is too good. He knows law by the back of his hand. He plays with law when he wants to. Every move he made was strategically correct. Every move he did was actually countering politically and strategically. He was absolutely sound. So I think the fact that he did not resign as a chief minister, Shubham has lot more facets than just one, that he didn't want to resign because he didn't want to kind of give away power and let somebody else take it up and take it over and all of that, like possibly what Hemant Soren did. The reason he did that is because he wanted to remain the chief minister of Delhi while he was in the custody. Therefore, he was in the news the maximum. The state didn't forget him. He didn't allow the country to forget him. Even when he was in jail, he didn't allow the country to forget him. And that's precisely because he was the sitting chief minister of Delhi. So beautiful strategy. Secondly, what he's doing now, or what he did now, is also strategically brilliant. Strategically brilliant. You see, what he's trying to do is he's trying to rebrand AAP and himself as he was. You see, from where Arvind Kejriwal was in 2012, 13, and 14 to what he became in 2024, there is a huge difference. From a activist Aam Aadmi in 2012, 13, 14 to a very seasoned politician who apparently asked for two bungalows for himself and all of that. There was a sea change in Arvind Kejriwal. He himself was wondering whether the people will accept him, or he himself was not very sure whether people are liking the new Kejriwal, because except for Kejriwal, if you notice, except for Kejriwal, every other person who had to go through ED and who had to go through IT got the advantage of public sympathy. Be it Uddhav Thackeray in Maharashtra, which is Uddhav Thackeray and Sharad Pawar in Maharashtra, whose governments were, whose parties were split, and the kind of sympathy they got, they swept Maha Vikas Aghadi swept Maharashtra polls. Be it Hemant Soren. See, Hemant Soren, the India Alliance must have not done too well, but Hemant Soren's party, the Jharkhand Mukti Morcha, did exceedingly well in this election. So Hemant Soren got the sympathy. Maharashtra, they got sympathy. But somewhere down the line, Arvind Kejriwal was one party that didn't kind of get the kind of sympathy that he was hoping for. He didn't sweep Delhi. In fact, he got nothing in Delhi.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to interject. I think the press conference by the Aam Aadmi Party has started. If you can just, if the production team can just really cut live to what the Aam Aadmi Party leaders have to
अरविंद
say.
केजरीवाल जेल के अंदर इस्तीफा दे दें और सरकार को गिराया जा सके, लेकिन अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ने दिल्ली के लोगों के हितों के लिए, दिल्ली के लोगों के काम को जारी रखने के लिए निर्णय लिया कि जेल के अंदर हम इस्तीफा नहीं देंगे और जेल से सरकार चलाएंगे, और उन्होंने सरकार चलाई। लेकिन जेल से आने के बाद उन्होंने निर्णय लिया कि जिस तरह से अरविंद केजरीवाल की जो सबसे बड़ी ताकत है ईमानदारी की ताकत, उसी ईमानदारी की ताकत से अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ने दिल्ली के लोगों के लिए वो काम किया जो आज तक इतिहास में भारत के कोई राज्य सरकार नहीं कर पाई। लेकिन उनके ऊपर, उस ईमानदारी के ऊपर कीचड़ उठाया गया भारतीय जनता पार्टी की तरफ से, और उसको देखते हुए दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ने जेल से आने के बाद यह निर्णय लिया कि देश की सुप्रीम अदालत ने हमें जेल से बाहर कर दिया है, लेकिन हम जनता की अदालत में जाएंगे। दिल्ली के लोग जब तक दोबारा चुन करके उन्हें अपना समर्थन नहीं देते, तब तक दिल्ली का मुख्यमंत्री नहीं बनेंगे। आज इन परिस्थितियों में जब उन्होंने अपना इस्तीफा देने का निर्णय लिया, आज विधायक दल की बैठक हुई। विधायक दल की बैठक में सर्वसम्मति से निर्णय हुआ है कि अगले चुनाव तक हम चाहते हैं कि ये चुनाव अक्टूबर-नवंबर में कराए जाए, जल्द से जल्द कराए जाए। जब तक चुनाव नहीं होता है, अरविंद केजरीवाल जी को प्रचंड बहुमत से जनता दिल्ली का मुख्यमंत्री नहीं बनाती है, तब तक के लिए आतिशी जी को दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री के रूप में जिम्मेदारी निभाने के लिए प्रस्ताव सर्वसम्मति से पारित हुआ है। आतिशी जी को दो जिम्मेदारी मुख्य तौर पर सभी विधायकों की तरफ से दी गई। पहला, कि दिल्ली के 2 करोड़ लोगों के साथ मिल करके भाजपा के सारे रुकावटों के बावजूद हम काम जारी रखेंगे, और दूसरा, भारतीय जनता पार्टी अरविंद केजरीवाल के नेतृत्व में दिल्ली के लोगों को जितने काम किए गए उन सबको रोकना चाहती है। फ्री बिजली रोकना चाहती है, फ्री पानी रोकना चाहती है, स्कूलों को खराब करना चाहती है, मोहल्ला क्लिनिक बंद करना चाहती है, महिलाओं की यात्रा को रोकना चाहती है, बुजुर्गों की तीर्थ यात्रा को रोकना चाहती है। अभी हमने देखा बुजुर्गों की पेंशन रोक दिया 5 महीने तक। दूसरी जो जिम्मेदारी उनको दी गई है कि भारतीय जिम्मेदारी है संघर्ष को जारी रखना, भाजपा के नेताओं से, भाजपा की सरकार से, भाजपा के षड्यंत्रों से दिल्ली के जनता के कामों को सुरक्षित रखना, उसकी रक्षा करना। इन 2 जिम्मेदारियों को लेकर के नई सरकार का गठन होगा। 4:30 बजे मुख्यमंत्री जी अपना इस्तीफा देने के लिए उपराज्यपाल के पास जाएंगे, और उसके बाद नई सरकार बनाने की दावेदारी विधायक मंडल दल की तरफ से प्रस्तुत की जाएगी। दोनों काम एक ही साथ होगा क्या? उसी समय दावा पेश होगा नई सरकार बनाने का? पहले मुख्यमंत्री जी अपना इस्तीफा देंगे, और उसके बाद जो विधानमंडल दल का जो प्रस्ताव है नेता चुनने का, वो दावेदारी का प्रस्ताव रखा है। देखिए, ये दोनों प्रस्ताव अरविंद केजरीवाल जी पहले अपना इस्तीफा देंगे और इस्तीफा देने के बाद जो नई सरकार गठन की दावेदारी है वो भी प्रस्तुत की जाएगी। आज ही प्रस्तुत किया जाएगा, आज ही इस्तीफा भी प्रस्तुत किया जाएगा और नए सरकार गठन के लिए दावेदारी भी प्रस्तुत की जाएगी। जहां तक नए मंत्रिमंडल की बात है, उसके बाद जो है पार्टी बैठ करके उसके लिए निर्णय लेगी। प्रतिनिधिमंडल जाएगा। अभी आज जो विधायक दल का नेता चुना गया है, उस दावेदारी को उस राज्यपाल के पास प्रस्तुत किया जाएगा। कैबिनेट का फैसला बाद में किया जाएगा। थैंक यू। चलिए सर, चलिए।
Party saying that Atishi has been picked as the new chief minister of Delhi. Now he's made a couple of points which I will take the audience quickly through for those who have just joined us. Kejriwal decided to resign on Sunday, and there was a crucial meeting of the Aam Aadmi Party MLAs today at Kejriwal's residence. And following that meeting, it has emerged that Atishi, who was said to be a front runner, has been picked as the new chief minister of Delhi. Gopal Rai, in that press conference outside Kejriwal's residence, said that Kejriwal will table his resignation at 4:30 p.m. today. He'll go to the lieutenant governor, following which the party will stake claim to form a new government under a new chief minister. He said talks on who will be part of the new cabinet will be held after that. He said there are two primary responsibilities that party MLAs have given to the new chief minister, is that work must go on despite BJP's attempts to create hurdles. And second, that Kejriwal's message, Kejriwal's schemes, all the schemes that he brought in, his work must be publicized and should reach each and every citizen of Delhi. So that was the message from the Aam Aadmi Party. The official word is in that Atishi will be the new chief minister of the national capital of Delhi. In fact, Mr. Rai also made a point that they are still pushing for preponing the assembly elections as far as the Delhi is concerned, because as of now, assembly elections in Delhi are scheduled for the month of February. February 2025 is when elections are scheduled for. They want it to be done in October, November, something that even Mr. Kejriwal spoke about, that club our elections with a state like Maharashtra, so that we can go ahead and get a fresh mandate from the people of Delhi. Now, Sujit, if we still have Sujit on the call,
Yes,
you are. Yes. so it's now clear that Atishi is the new chief minister. What I want to understand from you is what does this mean for Atishi, the leader? Because she's like Kejriwal, who had a meteoric rise after the Anna movement. Atishi too has now grown through the ranks of the party. She's gone up the ranks, and now here she was when the chief minister was behind bars. 13 portfolios what she was handling. Whatever little time she has in hand as chief minister, how critical is it for her to sort of emerge as a leader, a mass leader in her own standing? Because what a lot of political pundits held against her was the fact that while she was the brainchild of the education system reform, she did not quite enjoy the large support of the cadre, something like Mr. Kejriwal did. So how do you look at the next 4-5 months at least, given that there is no official word yet on whether elections in Delhi will be preponed, Sujit?
Shubham, it's like this. Let me talk about 2 points. One, which is we just was starting to, and then we got into this live. And secondly, I'll answer your question. Point number one that we were talking about is why is Kejriwal resigning? You see, it was very clear that Kejriwal wanted to resign because Kejriwal wanted to test his water once again. He wants to go to his audience, go to his voters and check, bhai, am I relevant? Or build himself, rebrand himself as what Kejriwal was in 2014, which he is not in 2024. In 2024, brand Kejriwal is very different to brand Kejriwal in 2014. What Kejriwal has realized is 2024 brand of Kejriwal has not resonated with the voters, which he saw in the Lok Sabha elections. Like I said, Uddhav Thackeray, Sharad Pawar, all of them reaped sympathy vote like nobody's business, but he was, including Hemant Soren, but he was the only person who couldn't get that sympathy vote. So somewhere down the line, he is now kind of trying to rebrand himself and go back to the original brand and try to rebrand himself as what he was in 2014. So that's what he is, and that's what all this going to the public and going to the people and all is concerned. This is what the idea is, that he is going to go back to his 2014 image. Now that's number one. Number two is, like we said yesterday, his wife and all, making her Mrs. Kejriwal the chief minister is impossible, because that will only harm him more than help him. So therefore he didn't do it. So that's number two. Number three, now answering your question, you see, political system in India, Shubham, has a very, it's very typical. It is very typical. Okay, there is a political party that launches in India, that launches itself saying that we are different. We are very different to what the current politics is. We are a party with a difference. Okay, we saw that in Janata Party in 80s. When Janata Party was launched, what did Bharatiya Janata Party say in 80s? That we are a party with a difference. Okay, came today, if you see Bharatiya Janata Party and if you see Congress, I see no difference between Bharatiya Janata Party and Congress. Okay, everything that happened in Congress, which Bharatiya Janata Party claimed that we are going to be different, we are party with the difference, everything that they claimed happened even in Bharatiya Janata Party today. This is the status. Okay, now let us go to AAP. What was AAP's pitch? We are party with a difference. That was AAP's pitch. Okay, in 2014 or 2013, when they actually decided to form a political party after Arvind Kejriwal saying that my politics se mera koi lena dena nahi hai. After when he decided, he came down to earth and then he decided to start a political party. Then he decided to become the chief CM. First he wanted to be the PM. Then he realized he only got 4 seats, so it was not possible in 545 seat parliament. So he decided CM theek hai. So he took up CM. So this is where it is. In 2023, if you see 2022, 2020, if you see AAP's growth trajectory, AAP went exactly like what Congress was and what BJP is. There is no difference. You see, there is a supreme leader. His name is Arvind Kejriwal. This supreme leader, earlier on in Congress, there was a supreme leader who was called Gandhi, whatever Gandhi, whichever Gandhi, but that was the supreme leader. That family was the supreme leader, and that family had a coterie. Okay, which BJP said, we are not going to be that way. There will be no high command. Then in BJP today, there is a supreme leader. Okay, and he has got his coterie, and his coterie gets the best position. Okay, now comes to AAP. AAP is Arvind Kejriwal. He is the supreme leader, and he has got a coterie. So the coterie included Raghav Chaddha, who is no longer part of the coterie after the arrest, and he is going to London, and then he is staying in London throughout the arrest, and after arrest coming back. So Raghav Chaddha gone. That Dr. Kumar Vishwas is the most dynamic person amongst the entire gang, because initially he started as a politician, as an activist. Then he came and he said, I want to be a politician. Then he came and he said, no, I want to be a poet. Then he came and he said, now I want to be Katha-Vachak. So he has been very, very liberal with his vocation. So he has been doing his bit through and through. So that is Kumar Vishwas, but he was picked up, thrown out. Then you had Mr. Yogendra Yadav. Okay, Yogendra Yadav was, in AAP, he was trying to be the spokesperson of AAP, the strategist of AAP. One fine day, Yogendra Yadav picked up, thrown out. Then you have so many people. I mean, the list goes on. Prashant Bhushan, etc., etc., etc. Finally, what happened is, if you are a yes man to Arvind, you are part of the coterie. So you became part of the coterie. Atishi Marlena is a brilliant administrator. I have no doubt about that in my mind. She is a fantastic administrator. She's a keen administrator. So it is. I'm happy that she got an opportunity to to become a minister, the chief minister. If I remember right, till recently she was not even a minister. It was only after all this ED and all that she became a minister, and now she becomes the chief minister. So she deserves to be, to my mind, of course, I am nobody to judge, but to my mind, she deserves to be the chief minister. But all this is part of the Arvind Kotri. End of the day, they are all part of Arvind Kotri. Until such time that you are Arvind Kejriwal fan, till such time that you are Arvind Kejriwal loyalist, you will get good positions in AAP. And the day everything is set, and if people forgives Arvind Kejriwal, which I think they will, if Delhi forgives Arvind Kejriwal and Delhi floods votes to Arvind Kejriwal, which the looks are, as it looks, assembly may be something that Arvind Kejriwal can favorably look at, then Arvind Kejriwal will be back in his seat. All these people will be there like they were before, and life goes on. This is what I see. This is what I see.
Right. Shashank, you were raising your hand. You wanted to say something.
Yeah. Sujit, but what I want to understand from you here is that why not somebody like a Manish Sisodia or a Gopal Rai who is much experienced and has grey hair?
Shashank, Manish Sisodia is as involved in ED and jail and all that as much as Arvind Kejriwal.
Sujit, again, I'm sorry to cut both of you off. We have, sorry Shashank, we have Ruben Mascarenhas joining us. He's the working president of the Aam Aadmi Party in Mumbai. Mr. Mascarenhas, appreciate you taking out time and joining us. Atishi, the new chief minister of Delhi, Gopal Rai said this was a unanimous pick. Mr. Kejriwal proposed the name. What is the party's game plan going forward now?
No, I think I'm smiling year to year. I've had the good privilege and the good fortune of having worked with Atishi. She is one of India's brightest and best. She is an Oxford scholar. She's a Rhodes scholar. She's a Stevening scholar. And despite the fact that the world's her oyster and she could have chosen whatever job she could have and excelled at it, she chose to come back to the rough and tumble of Indian politics, where there is so much of uncertainty. And the very fact that it's only in an Aam Aadmi Party that you actually have somebody without any political legacy or pedigree rise to the top and become chief minister. It's a proud day for all of us at the Aam Aadmi Party. We have a woman chief minister. We have a youth chief minister. Let's not forget Atishi is also young, extremely young, just a few years older than me. And we're really proud of the fact that we have a young woman chief minister who will ace her new responsibility. And there are no doubts about that. She has continued to, she's inspired us with her work. Let's not forget the kind of work that she did when she was the architect of Delhi's education revolution. The kind of dogged determination that irrespective of whatever obstacles were in her path, she made sure that the system delivered. And that's the Atishi that I know. And good luck to her. And we're really happy and proud of calling Atishi one of our colleagues at the Aam Aadmi Party.
Mr. Mascarenhas, what are the immediate challenges Atishi faces? Because yes, there is a shot in the arm for the Aam Aadmi Party. Arvind Kejriwal is out on bail. But wasn't it almost a given after the bail conditions that were set by the Supreme Court that Mr. Kejriwal can't sign files, he can't visit CM office? So wasn't this a necessity in a way because Mr. Kejriwal perhaps saw his hands tied and the party had to have a new chief minister with elections just a few months away?
No. You need to read what the court actually said. Let's not forget. And even before coming to what the court said, let me also draw your attention to other things that the court said. If you look at para 26 in the order, the court clearly says that there's not even a shred of evidence against Arvind Kejriwal, right? If you look at para 24, the same court in the ED matter says that the ED has acted with bias. So this is not us. And finally, we know that the court said that the CBI is nothing but a cage parrot and repeated what it said in 2013 for what it said under Congress regime. So this is not us saying that, right? This is the Supreme Court saying that. And let's understand, if Arvind Kejriwal has got bail under Section 45, it means that he is innocent. That is how high the bar of Section 45 is. And I'm a practicing advocate. I know what I'm talking. Having said that, if you actually look at the minutiae, it is wrong. This is the BJP propaganda that the CM can't sign certain files and etc. This is only with regards to the files with regards to the LG. with regards to what the GNCTD amendment looks like. This is about those files. It's not, you cannot have any Supreme Court curtail the powers of a chief minister. It is not possible. It is illegal. It is only with regards to the matters consistent to what the with regards to what the powers of the LG are, and secondly with regards to this particular case. That's about it. So this idea that suddenly that Arvind Kejriwal is no longer powerful enough and hence he is basically walked away and is trying to make this as some virtue out of a necessity. No, that's not what happened. This is BJP propaganda. This is selective cherry picking, obfuscating, and misinformation. This is exactly what it is. Having said that, no, I'm coming to it. You asked me a question. No, you asked me a question. You asked me a question. What are the obstacles in front of Atishi? Let me remind you that for the last few months, ever since you had the GNCTD amendment, this is the first time in the history of independent India that you have a popularly elected government with unprecedented mandate. But despite that, you have the government get in an amendment by backdoor, which is against sub judice. It's against, there's a challenge. It's referred to a constitutional bench. It is pending before the Supreme Court. In such situations, with the entire top leadership of the party being incarcerated, in terms of the fact that there is a concerted attempt to kill the party, to finish us off, because it is for the first time in the history of the world, not just independent India, that you actually have a party which has its origin in one particular region of this country, goes outside that region, goes to other states, wins elections there, gets popular votes there. And we saw what happened in Gujarat. We saw what happened in Goa. We're already in power in Punjab. So we're India's youngest national political party, and this is not just something unique for just India. This is something unique for the world. And we are, to borrow the startup language, we are the only startup which disrupted Indian politics and has turned into a unicorn. The BJP doesn't like that. The BJP doesn't like the fact that we can deliver when it comes to world-class education, world-class healthcare, free. When it comes to 20,000 liters of water for family, when it comes to 200 units of electricity, all of this without corruption and without debt. And the BJP can't defeat us politically, and hence basically has to unleash this vendetta. Let's not forget what Atishi had to go through in the last months. We all remember how painfully we saw those visuals on television, where you have two cabinet ministers essentially ask the IS officers to come to meetings, and their own IS officers don't come to meetings. Despite that, we have continued to make sure that the machinery works, and that is Atishi. Atishi is a woman of grit. Atishi is a leader of absolute dogged determination. It's always never say die to her. I know she's a very, very, very tough taskmaster, and you'll see her deliver. So we're all happy, irrespective of whatever the challenges are or whatever challenge that the BJP throws at us. Sadly, the LG has been acting like an extension of the BJP party office. But that said, irrespective of whatever happens, we are confident that we will deliver on what the Delhi government's mandate has been, just in the way that we've delivered so far.
Mr. Mascarenhas, a couple of questions. First,
Shubham,
you talked about the bail. Sorry, I'll just finish my question, please, and then I'll get you in. You said that the bail conditions were pertaining to a certain act. Then what explains Mr. Kejriwal's resignation to begin with? Because he was the chief minister when he was in jail. When he comes out and he makes this surprise announcement, do you agree that somewhere down the line, given what the party has gone through with regards to corruption allegations one by one against their own leaders, there was a reset that was necessary as far as the party was concerned, where Mr. Kejriwal was concerned, his own image was concerned, and that prompted the move, if not for the bail conditions, as you said, that it is not stemming from really the bail conditions.
No, precisely. I'm saying this is Arvind Kejriwal. This is Arvind Kejriwal who can hit a sixer on a Yorker and a googly, to borrow cricket language. And more than anything else, let's understand, Hindi में एक कहावत है कि कीचड़ उछालो और जितना उछालो कुछ तो चिपकेगा. This is exactly how the BJP went about whatever it went about doing, and just thought that, okay, we'll drum up a case, we'll arrest people, we'll keep them for a long period in the jail, we'll sadly look at the collapse of judicial accountability in terms of the lower courts, and that's something that the Supreme Court has also said in order that the lower courts have much to answer. And in this so-called propaganda with the IT cell and etc., say that no, Aam Aadmi Party is corrupt, Arvind Kejriwal is corrupt, its leaders are corrupt, and this is the so-called liquor scam. But let's not forget, not a single rupee has been recovered. Not a single trail has been recovered. The last, by the way, if you read the charge sheet, you'll laugh at it. They've now said that the only trail is only 75,000 rupees. This is the ED and the CBI saying that, not me. So all said and done, this entire thing has collapsed, and Arvind Kejriwal has and it's not that the Supreme Court has compelled us to. Arvind Kejriwal, despite that, has left the position of chief minister. He said that I've received a bail from the judicial court. Now I'll go to the people's court. And this is exactly the Arvind Kejriwal that the BJP fears, that it will that it's not Arvind Kejriwal who will play into the hands of the BJP. It is an Arvind Kejriwal who will set the terms and get the BJP to our pitch and defeat it once again convincingly in the upcoming assembly elections. I'm reasonably confident about it.
Yes, Sujit, go ahead. You had a question. Go ahead.
No, I actually, Mr. Mascarenas, this is Sujit Nair. Hi, I just
I'm
had
aware,
a couple
sir.
of,
I'm aware. Great to connect with you.
Yes, definitely. 2-3 things I completely agree with you, sir. One is the fact that Atishi Marlena is a fine administrator, and really looking forward to see her work. And that there is no question about that. That's number one. Number two is where I do not. Second thing is also the fact that I don't think Arvind Kejriwal, Shubham, has resigned purely because he was not allowed to go to office, or purely because I don't think that was the case. We were discussing that. So that too, point number two. Point number three, sir, what I don't agree to you is bail under any circumstances does not mean acquittal. Whatever these sections are, I mean, that is the premises of a bail, isn't it? You're a lawyer, I understand that, but as a layperson, I understand that bail does not mean acquittal for sure. That's number one. That does not mean, sir, that does not mean that I am saying that Arvind Kejriwal has taken bribe or that. All that I am not saying. I'm just putting premises in place. Would you agree to me, sir?
No, so very quickly, what you're saying, Sujit, is correct. That bail is not an acquittal, and that is true when it comes to jurisprudence generally. But when it comes to the PMLA, there is a section 45, which basically has something called the twin conditions, which need to be satisfied in order for the court to enlarge the accused on bail. And in a normal case, let's say if there is a murder or there is some other accused, you basically see that one is a person of flight risk. Will he run away? Or second, will he tamper with the evidence? That's all. You see these two things, and you basically, based on his previous antecedents, essentially give bail. That's typically how jurisprudence is. But when it comes to Section 45, Section 45 also says that the court needs to be convinced that one, either the ED say that okay, we don't have an objection, and they'll get bail, which is what we saw happen with the so-called approvers, which was again a selective choice of theirs, which the court came very heavily, or in the second condition, where the court has to be convinced that prima facie there is that prima facie the accused is not guilty. So when I say a bail under Section 45, what you're saying is true for under bail under any other section. But when it comes to bail under Section 45, the bar is so high, sir. The first political person to get bail on Section 45 was Arvind Kejriwal, and yet he couldn't walk out, right? That speaks volumes. That speaks volumes of this government, and sadly, the lack of accountability of the lower judiciary. So I stand what I'm saying, that bail under Section 45 is as good as a certificate of innocence from the court itself.
I completely agree, because we all were wondering as to why was Arvind Kejriwal still in jail when a lot of other chief ministers, the court had spoken about them not running away, and I was wondering whether Arvind Kejriwal would run away. This is something that we had also spoken about. So to that extent, I agree to you, but I just wanted to make that one point clear. Now let me ask you a political question,
Sure,
Mr.
sir.
Mascarenas. The question I wanted to ask you is, you see, one thing we noticed, that Arvind Kejriwal did not get the kind of sympathy vote that possibly a Sharad Pawar and a Uddhav Thackeray got in Maharashtra. Okay, one was expecting that possibly, since Arvind Kejriwal was out, Arvind Kejriwal asked people of Delhi that listen, vote for me, because then I will, otherwise they will put me behind bars. But that didn't happen. Is that a reason to worry? Is that why Arvind Kejriwal is trying to rebrand himself and possibly go back to the people and win the people back? Is that a possibility?
No, I think let's look at it. Let's look at it this way: that Arvind Kejriwal is literally India's hope, right? He's been an advocate of Delhi's downtrodden, and we've seen the way in which the people of Delhi have given him unprecedented mandates, not once, not twice, but 3 times. That said, when it comes to Uddhav and Sharad Pawar, both of whom are our allies here in Maharashtra, but there's a difference. There's a key difference that Uddhav was not incarcerated. Uddhav, that there wasn't, like, while there was an attempt to break his, neither was Sharad Pawar, right? And also their so-called Operation Lotus worked when it came to the Shiv Sena UBT, but the Operation Lotus didn't work when it came to the Aam Aadmi Party. They tried to break our party too. They succeeded with 1 or 2 people leaving the party. But other than those 1 or 2 people, which were essentially stray cases, the party by and large has been intact. The party by and large has been together, and that is the kind of vision that all of us share with our leader Arvind Kejriwal about an India without avoidable suffering and without unutilized potential. So that's something that we are striving for. And I think Arvind Kejriwal, as I said, right, he's somebody who can hit a sixer on a Yorker and a googly. And what he's done is he's been strategic about when he resigns. He hasn't stuck to his chair, as I explained, that it is impossible for the Supreme Court to curtail the powers of an elected constitutional chief minister. It's just not possible. What he's done is he's flipped the script. He said that I'm happy, I'm game for elections right now. I'll go to the People's Court. And that is something that's got the BJP worried. So the BJP always thinks that it's going to set the agenda and the opposition party will play into its hands. But this is Arvind Kejriwal. Arvind Kejriwal has always set the agenda. And when Arvind Kejriwal has succeeded in setting the agenda, when the BJP comes and plays on our pitch, the BJP always loses because they're a hollow party. They're a party which hasn't been able to deliver. They can't defeat us politically, and which is why we've seen all this games of vendetta. So that said, I think we've just been strategic about our decision. Why begrudges, Sujit ji? We are allowed to take decisions. We are a democracy, and let me just end this round of conversation. 1 minute. Let me just end this round of conversation. But we don't have a high command culture in the sense that Vijay Rupani was found in Gujarat buying a helicopter, and which some news agencies said that was basically taken from the COVID money, and suddenly because there was a hullabaloo, Modi suddenly wakes up and takes some decision, and the next moment he's changed. We didn't do anything like that. And Arvind Kejriwal made an announcement. That announcement came as a shock to all of us. It took some time for us to make sense of what's going on. But having said that, he followed due process. The party's PAC, the apex decision-making body, met. Subsequent to that, the Aam Aadmi Party legislature party has met, and we have unprecedented majority we have a super majority in the Delhi Assembly. We followed process, and now Atishi is the chief minister. And let me finish by saying Atishi is chief minister. She's not caretaker chief minister. She's not a standby chief minister. Atishi is chief minister.
Mr. Mascarenhas, one final word before we let you go.
No, I have one more question, Shubham, if you allow me to.
Sure,
I have one more question for Mr. Mascarenhas. Mr. Mascarenhas, we have no problem, no grudges whatsoever of Arvind Kejriwal taking any decisions, and neither will our grudge matter, because ultimately he is the boss of his party. But I have a few questions. You see, you very rightly said that Atishi Marlena is not a caretaker chief minister. Atishi Marlena is a chief minister. But chief minister for how long? Till such time that the next election happens. Which is how long? You are asking for an early poll with Maharashtra, which means for the next 2 months. If that really happens, which I don't think Bharatiya Janata Party and the Chief Election Commission may agree, or they, I mean, at least to my mind, they may not. But if that happens, it is for 2 months. So technically speaking, Atishi Marlena is Chief Minister for 2 months. So making that a permanent decision, Mr. Mascarenhas, is not absolutely correct. Number one. Number two, you see, the fact is, Arvind Kejriwal has managed Delhi well. Nobody will deny that because he has been a fairly good chief minister. He had their own problems, but otherwise, if you look at from a larger scale, he has been a fairly good chief minister. But somewhere down the line, there is a loss of popularity. I'm asking you this as a very strategic and candidly. I'm not trying to kind of get politics involved here at all. I'm asking you as a professional. You see, there has been a loss of popularity. Why did this loss of popularity creep in? What do you think? I'm sure your strategic team must be talking about it. What do you think was the cause of this loss of unpopularity?
No, I don't think there has been a loss of popularity. Uh, the election results would have certainly not been in line of what our expectations were, and we are humble enough to acknowledge that and accept the people's mandate. But that said, Arvind Kejriwal, when his jail ka jawab would say, may have not succeeded in Delhi. Arvind Kejriwal is not just Delhi's leader. Arvind Kejriwal is one of India's tallest leaders. And when Arvind Kejriwal speaks, the country listens. And he's had a disproportionate impact, no less than a person like a Prashant Kishore and an Akhilesh Yadav say that what happened in UP was a consequence of what Arvind Kejriwal essentially said about the Yogi Adityanath government. What's what he said about what's happening between Amit Shah and Modi. So all said and done, Arvind Kejriwal remains popular. Let's not forget, we just got 3 weeks to go to polls. This is at a time when it is for the first time that we allied with the Congress. We did increase our vote share. We lost a few seats by just 30,000 votes when it comes to Somnath Bharati, 45,000 votes when it comes to South Delhi. So these were close contests. We would have certainly expected a much better result, much more seats. But that said, that is immaterial because we had contested this election to save our constitution. We had contested this election to save our democracy. The manner in which the BJP and the Amit Shah had literally broken all norms, had compromised all institutions, had essentially destroyed the integrity of all these constitutional authorities. This was important for us to save the country, and I think we've done that. We are, as part of the opposition, are 239 in the Lok Sabha. We already saw when it came to the broadcast bill was slowly withdrawn. We've seen how the BJP is found in a very bizarre position when it comes to Manipur, where its own chief minister is asking for control with a unified command, and we still have armories being looted. We actually, for the first time in the history of independent India, have such kind of mass violence in a border state. So all said and done, I think we have succeeded as the opposition, and that is what we need to look at the Lok Sabha elections as. But that said, Arvind Kejriwal remains our tallest leader, and we will again go to the people. And each time that Arvind Kejriwal has gone to the people when it comes to the Delhi elections, the people of Delhi have always blessed him. And I'm reasonably confident that this time would be no different too, and we will receive unprecedented mandate, irrespective of who our candidates are.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mascarenas. Over to you, Shubham. Shubham,
Yes,
floor is yours.
Mr. Mascarenas,
Thank you
one
so
final
much.
question from mine. I think before after that we can let you go. Will Mr. Kejriwal be a remote control chief minister, or will Atishi be that sort of independent leader who's taking charge? You said she's not a caretaker CM, she's not an interim CM. Yes, she's the chief minister. She will be the chief minister now. But with Mr. Kejriwal now being he's the party chief, and elections around the corner in some of the key states. Do you think these two entities will function separately? Of course, being part of the same party, or do you see Mr. Kejriwal in a way unofficially trying to have that final word?
No, not at all. I think Arvind Kejriwal is our tallest leader, and we've been missing his tenacious and visionary guidance when he was incarcerated, wrongly so, as I've spoken prior to this, in the fake liquor scam. But now he's there. He's there because we are going to the people under his leadership. We are contesting the upcoming Haryana elections under his leadership. It's a very exciting time for us. And when it comes to the role of the government and the issue of day-to-day governance affairs, that's with Atishi, and she'll deliver. So I don't think this is about being a super chief minister. This is about basically being strategic, where Arvind Kejriwal and his guidance is always available to the Aam Aadmi Party and its government and all of us volunteers. But he's now going to be free. He's now going to be free of gubernatorial responsibilities with regards to Delhi administration, and he is going to be. And you're now going to see Aam Aadmi Party 2.0. If Aam Aadmi Party 1.0 was about Aam Aadmi Party's establishment in Delhi and its expansion to Punjab and its contesting in Goa and Gujarat and getting MLAs elected, Aam Aadmi Party 2.0 is going to see further expansion in Haryana, in Maharashtra, where we're going to contest elections. And this is fairly an exciting time for all of us. We are literally looking at a disruptor in Indian politics, essentially a bootstrapped startup, which has now become a unicorn. And that's the Aam Aadmi Party, and that's how excited we are. And that's a kind of upward mobility that our party offers. Now, which other party can say that somebody without pedigree was able to just rise to the top, and somebody so young? So I think the Aam Aadmi Party believes in young people. The Aam Aadmi Party believes in rewarding merit, leadership, hard work, and that's what we're seeing with regards to Atishi. So far from being two power centers, I think Chief Minister Atishi will deliver on what the people of Delhi have mandated the Aam Aadmi Party with, and Arvind Kejriwal will be leading our campaign with regards to going to the people, whether in Delhi or Haryana. So we're all set.
Okay, Aam Aadmi Party 2.0 is how you put it, Mr. Ruben Mascarenhas. Thank you so much for taking out the time and speaking with us. Now, before we end this live stream, Sujit, I would like to get you in very quickly so that we can sort of wind up what has been this broadcast as far as Atishi Marlena being the chief minister. I want to, in fact, ask you that question as well, what I just asked Mr. Mascarenhas. Arvind Kejriwal, remote control CM, or Atishi will be the leader who knows that, look, she is the chief minister, she will have the final word. No super CM / remote control in Delhi. What do you think, Sujit?
There will be no difference between, say, any other supreme leader running the party and running the state, and the same will be in Delhi. Atishi Marlena is a CM for possibly 2 months if they get their way. They are hoping to kind of prepone elections and make it happen with Maharashtra, which means technically even Maharashtra doesn't know when the election is, but hopefully in November. So it is going to be in November. Matlab, that means Atishi Marlena is a 2 months chief minister. Now imagine what power do you think a 2 months chief minister has? What kind of independence and what kind of revolution can a 2 month chief minister create? What does a 2 month chief minister mean? You think about it, and I think you will get your answer. Assuming that it doesn't happen and the election is election happens in March or April next year, she's got 5 months. She's there for 5 months. What can a 5 month chief minister do? What independence do you expect for a 5 months chief minister? So somewhere down the line, in cricket there is something called as night watchman. Do you know what night watchman is?
Yes.
Shubham, टेस्ट सीरीज में क्या होता है कि when it's the end of the day's play and a good batsman gets out, you send an ordinary batsman, or possibly not so good batsman to the crease so that he can just play and finish the day, so that the regular batsman can come in the next day fresh and bat. So to my mind, Atishi Marlena is a night watchman. She's just there to handle things till Arvind Kejriwal hopefully comes back. Hopefully, he hopefully comes back, and he hopes that he comes back. Not that I hope he comes back, but he hopes he comes back, and then he will take over. This is one. But that being said, let me tell you, in my mind, at least to my opinion, Atishi Marlena is a fine administrator. She's genuinely a hard worker. She's genuinely somebody who likes to see good things happen in her state. There is no two questions about it. I've seen her work. I've seen her attitude. She is indeed a good person, indeed a good administrator. That's all I will say to this.
Okay, so just to wind up, for our viewers who just joined us, Atishi Marlena will be the new Chief Minister of Delhi. The Aam Aadmi Party has made this official. MLA Gopal Rai said that she's been given two responsibilities, major responsibilities. First, to ensure that work continues despite BJP trying to create hurdles, and second, promote Arvind Kejriwal schemes. Arvind Kejriwal is all set to now resign as the Chief Minister. He sought an appointment with the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi today at 4:30 p.m., following which the new government will stake claim that will be led by Atishi Marlena, who was a senior leader of the Aam Aadmi Party. A woman face. Delhi will have a woman chief minister after Sheila Dikshit. Now, the next step will be, as per the rules, The new government will have to, of course, prove their majority on the floor of the House, I beg your pardon. But that doesn't seem to be really an issue because AAP has about 67 out of 70 MLAs with them. So with that thumping majority, expect things to go forward. But on the political front, expect a lot more activities as we head closer to elections. It is still not clear whether Delhi's elections will be postponed or preponed rather, or will they be held as per schedule, which is February 2025. Now, on that note, again, I apologize. Thank you so much for tuning in and subscribe to HW News English for more such videos. Thanks for watching.